From the airport, she was being welcomed by her breast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another segment. Into this episode, let's dive into African lady got married to Chinese husband, presently heading to the Chinese environment. The journey from African to the Chinese environment was quite a long one, but notwithstanding, we so much appreciate God for granting them journey mercy for far distance they've arrived into the Chinese environment. According to what he says, that she's not going to stay for a month, for a year. She's not going to stay for a couple of years, not even couple of weeks or couple of months. She's just came. She's coming for a visit just for 5 days, according to what he said. But let's see if it's true. If actually what he says is actually right, because the visa permit and all of that and all the documents needs to be done appropriately so as they will not be banned from entering the Chinese environment. Certain countries took their laws and papers very seriously, and mostly when dealing with foreigners or dealing with people coming in or tripping into the country. That is so whatever thing they're doing, they have to they take proper precautions in doing things so as there will not be lapses or there will not be breakdown during the procedure. Now you note that African lady who felt so much happy. This is the first time of knowing where her husband is staying. Many persons they can do blind date, they don't know where the person is from. Is he from the mountain? Is it from, on the sea, or is it from beyond? You just have to know, and which is very right. And the step she takes, the first step is for her to know where he's from, his location, and where the territory he's actually and really from. Decision on this should not be based on sight and should not be based on factual saying, but should be based on physical saying, and also to know exactly where her husband is from. Having done the marriage, having done all the rights, having done everything appropriately or correctly, now is the time to know in details. But I think in some other culture and tradition, the person or the lady needs to know before wedding. Most persons, mostly in the African territory or in the African state or in the African land, you find out that the lady have to know where the man is from before saying yes I do. But I think in this case, they did yes I do before knowing where he's from. What if? The question is, what if he is from a certain place where you don't like? Will you say no to his proposal, or haven't collected the bride price, haven't done many other things according to traditional rights? Would they say no? I think that is a big question over there, and that is a big thought. But she's made up her mind, and then she expects that everything will be all right according to her faith that leads her, and according to love, and we believe that everything will be all right. Okay, so as the journey proceeds, they actually will not want to go to village directly. They have to set by step by, then have a kind of relaxation in the town, and which they are doing right now before they proceed to see the guy's parents, and which is very appropriate and which is very right. Yes, that is the first step to know, and also to know the family members, to know where he's from, to know the location, and also to know more about him and his tolerance and all of that. Well, we have so many comments repeating, but today is not a comment and question answering, but now we just create a little chance for it, okay? And we have here someone asking why is that she's not communicating with her husband directly, and why is it that the person's interfering? Well, if you check in recent video when we talk about other families would get married, African ladies in court who got married to Chinese husband, you note that one great thing I think about them is that at first stage, the communication process is being handled, by the boss. Yes, because himself he felt so much free and would be able to communicate more freely. And I think this just for the first stage. As time goes on, yes, they will communicate well. Well, before we land into the second comment or questions, let's see what we have here. They've arrived in the main place. Yes, in the main area. This is the route and this is where he is from. Most times when we see someone and tell like, where are you from? You say, I'm from Chinese, I'm from Australia, from London, I'm from, America, I'm from USA. Yes, even I'm from, they call certain states. But I tell you, in those states, there is some village, there's also territory, there's a place, every state has their own localities. Okay, let's put it at the front of our mind. I wouldn't say back of our mind, at the front of our mind. You know that they've arrived at the basic roots, like you see. Jenny's husband mother, so she so much feel the joy. She couldn't withhold it but to undo African lady and give her a kind of red envelope that is a sign of welcome, and that red envelope in the Chinese culture and tradition, it contains a monetary value which usually is being rendered to certain guests when they arrive fully in a certain place, in a particular place. You see that she's been welcomed, and there are some certain things which she ought to do, and here her husband is actually telling her that she'll be the one, to issue her gifts to these people that came to welcome her. Their family was complete. They were so much happy to see their newly wedded wife. Yes, the new African wife has arrived. All right, so before then, let's dive into the comments. I think this is comment that came in, and all is a question how someone like Chinese grandmama is not that welcoming African lady. Well, oh, well, how would you want her to welcome her? How would you want her to do that? I think she did it in the way the Chinese people do it, their culture and tradition. I think that is the way they used to welcome people, and she did it in her own way. Well, let's see as time goes on, how things goes on, and we believe that things will goes on so well, and things will fend yourself so well. This is just an introduction. Yes, she have to know where he's from. That is why she have to travel all the way, to the Chinese environment to know where he is from. Welcome to the Chinese environment. We have to say hi, welcome to the Chinese environment. She felt so much happy. One thing is about happiness, that trips in. We don't want to know if the family is wealthy, if the family is has wherever, or but just the happiness of both couples will brighten up, and we believe that there is actually future for this one, and we believe that there will be joy at the end of the tunnel. That's the first stage might look somehow, the first stage might look not inviting, or might look somehow brighter you as time goes on. Yes, there is joy, and there's utmost joy at the end of the tunnel. All right, before we wrap up, I think we have to take on this particular question that comes in so sharply. This one was saying that this particular person is saying that why is it that she's the one holding the marriage certificate? It's supposed to be in the care of the husband. That shows no seriousness. Well, I think in our subsequent edition, we are going to answer more of that, and we are going to talk more of that. All right, this is where I'll be wrapping up today's episode, and I hope you're lighting onto this package. Please do stay tuned and stabilize. And always remember, lovelies, stay good for now. Bye for now.